TMI. Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerfherder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker.
I am showing the red light that it's
I
recording.
see it. It's up here now. It's on the right-hand side. All right. I would hate to record for 2+ hours only to have your end of the conversation. Hey, welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
To this mindless banter on the front end. We actually got a comment on our YouTube page.
The Beware the Blob 0.5 episode is garnering quite a few views.
Yeah, well, since that comment, so if you're listening to this and you don't listen to us over on YouTube, do us a favor. Jump on over there and at least subscribe because it helps the algorithm. But more importantly, if you want to leave a comment, yeah, this is what the show is about, is actually unlocking some of these memories.
And it actually shows us that someone's out there listening.
That someone is listening. It is validation. For the most part, we just entertain each other. But every now and again, someone else is like, yeah, I listened. You're like, what? You listened? You actually heard that?
And if you do listen to our show, you'll find out that we disclose a lot of things.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yes, we ruin it all.
I know that we're a little bit late in the game talking about Disclosure Day, which is our main feature this week.
I think that's good sometimes. It gives people a chance to go watch the movie.
Yeah, but if you haven't,
then come back.
But if you haven't and you want to see it, don't listen.
And you don't want to be spoiled.
No. Wait till you see it and then come back and listen to us.
And then be like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Speaking of divisive movies.
Along with Disclosure Day, we are keeping with the D theme and the Steven Spielberg theme.
This is D-Day all around.
Duel,
1971. I would have put it like 74. But this was 4 years before Jaws.
It was, yes. And a couple years before Sugarland Express, which I still have never seen.
I don't think I've ever seen it either. Goldie Hawn's in that, right?
Yes, she is.
Duel, made for TV movie, by the way.
I exclaimed out loud in the theater when I saw the homage to Duel, because I had just watched it.
We're going to talk about this because watching these two movies, so you're basically talking about 20-year-old Steven Spielberg work versus 79-year-old Spielberg work. And the man just loves stealing from himself.
And this is not a new thing.
Realized it. No, but I never realized this level.
He calls it nostalgia.
Is that what he calls it?
That's what he calls it.
I call it a rip-off.
Is it stealing if it's from yourself, though?
I don't know. John Byrne, the famous comic book artist, gets a lot of crap because he tends to steal from his own work. Like if he has a really nice Superman pose, he'll reuse it for, the X-Men or something. So homage, I don't know how you want to talk, but I didn't realize. I assume you watched Duel first.
I did. Yeah.
I did not. I watched Disclosure Day about a week and a half ago, and then I watched Duel because I ended up getting the DVD from the library of Duel, and it had a little making of featurette with Spielberg. But yeah, that's what we're discussing today. So again, as Jim mentioned, you have not seen Disclosure Day. Do not listen. Stop right now. Go watch a movie, and then come back.
Before we get into the news, I just want to point out that I had a realization of sadness. This new Regal opening comes up with they incorporated Minions into it because of the Minions movie,
which I'm assuming they're going to keep doing.
So again, now it used to be a roller coaster going through like all your concession things, the popcorn and the soda and the candy. Now it's going through different genres of films in space. So each genre is its own planet, maybe is the point. So then I thought to myself, oh, kids today, they'll never know that old Regal opening. They're just going to know this. Time marches on.
Time does march on.
Yeah.
Listen, no one remembers those movie quote Regal ads that we went on and on about.
They should be buried.
It would be fine if they didn't run the same one.
Hey, you good?
Now traumatized all over. Google that one.
All right. So what news do you got today?
Well, speaking of sad, we're going to have to start with this. Our 8-year-old Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, Davy Chase, 35 years old, died. It sounds like she's had some serious issues. She became addicted to painkillers after a 2016 motorcycle accident. But the official report is that she died from alleged contracting meningitis while living on the streets of LA with a serious drug addiction. Apparently, she had millions in residuals because she was also in The Ring, Donnie Darko. She was in a string of movies.
I had no idea because I saw that news but didn't know how she passed, and that's even sadder.
And I'm sure that family members reached out, tried to help her, but yeah, she did die in the hospital. She went in the hospital for malnutrition, but living on the streets, 35 years old, it's crazy. So I was not happy to hear that news. Tavi Chase, 35. On a happier note, you actually brought this news item to me, and I was going to wait and bring it up on the back end of what else do we do? But I think this is going to be a fun discussion because this is a magazine that we all grew up on and was pretty much our internet for 30 years, more maybe. So I'm talking about Starlog magazine, launched in 1976 and lasted until 2009.
And often this was the only place where you could get scoops on what was coming out and what was being made.
Like I said, this was between this and, if you were a horror genre fan, then you went to Fangoria. But this was it. This was like the premiere. You got all your goss. You got all your behind the scenes photos.
Yep. And the cover was always some movie that had just come out.
Yeah, sure. You're always going to promote it. But they had nice articles, guys that, Glenn Larson, the guy who created Battlestar Galactica. I remember that black hole cover that had exclusive photos from The Empire Strikes Back.
Or Christopher Reeve for the first Superman on the cover.
So apparently Starlog's coming back, and not just as a magazine, but as a plethora of genres. We got a weekly podcast, which I actually listened to the first episode.
Oh, it's already out.
Yeah, the first episode dropped. There's a newsletter called the Lodestar, so you can actually go to their website, which I think is just starlog.com, sign up for the newsletter, and you're getting a physical magazine. So my question is this: in this day and age where we get instant gratification from TMZ and all these other live internet feeds, like, what's this magazine going to bring that we didn't see online?
They probably are going to lean into making of classic things, because when you say it's a physical magazine, just as well as I do, when you go to the Barnes & Noble and you look at the magazine rack, most of the genre movie magazines are like quarterly now. They're not monthly. So, and
that's one thing I don't have an answer to, because I don't know if it's going to be a monthly magazine. They did on the podcast, they talk extensively about that. They're going to, nice, gorgeous pictures. The fun thing about the podcast was that they're doing an live interview with somebody current. In this case, the first episode was with the new editor-in-chief, this Annalee Newitz, who I guess is a sci-fi author, and she founded IO9, the website, which is like a internet-based Starlog, for lack of a better term, all the latest sci-fi news and whatnot. But then they go back into the archives and they talk about an old interview that they had in one of their magazines, and obviously, current news and stuff like that. It was okay. I'll keep listening to it.
I could envision in the magazine itself lots of reprinted older articles, from 1978 May issue.
Yeah, which is fun sometimes, because I do have a fair amount of old Starlogs, and one of my favorite was an interview with David Prowse, who famously played Darth Vader in the costume, and he was going on and on about how he was anonymous, and he felt bad for all the human actors because they will forever be branded as these characters, because you see their face where he can go and do other things and never be known as Darth Vader. And this is the guy who actually signs every autograph. David Prowse is Darth Vader because he never did anything beyond that. Let me read this description of the podcast. The Starlog podcast covers what's new in sci-fi, what's happening in the wacky world of real science and future life. Features a weekly dip into the vast and amazing Starlog archives and hosts an interview. We've got several banked already, and it's a glorious mix of voices. We got big shots from Hollywood, eggheads from MIT, and a woman who lived by herself in Antarctica for 2 months. So as I mentioned, the first episode is this interview with the new editor-in-chief, and the second episode will have an exclusive interview with David Koepp, who we're going to speak about because he is the screenwriter of multiple movies, including Disclosure Day.
All right.
You were mentioning some of these iconic Starlog covers, and I remember as a kid going grocery shopping with my grandmother. The newsstand, as you're leaving the grocery store at the end aisle, was that Roger Moore in a spacesuit for Moonraker. And, by then, Star Wars was at 79?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Star Wars was all I lived and breathed. And I'm like, that guy's in a spacesuit. That's cool. I want to see that. So that cover sticks out to be big time. So it's a deep dive on some of that stuff. So yeah, go check it out. I thought that was fun. So there you go. Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg, 79 years old, still directing, still making movies. And the minute you say Spielberg Aliens,
and the Amblin Entertainment opening, of course, you're reminded that Spielberg is the man when it comes to aliens.
Yeah.
You see E.T. at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the movie starts out I'm like, is this Highlander?
I'm so glad you picked up on that because that's exactly what it felt like. That swooping camera shot. It was like a WWE, but it's like it's like a point of view of the wrestler getting the crap beat out of him. And then the camera pans and you find our reluctant hero. He's there to exchange the stolen data discs for his kidnapped girlfriend.
So this is Daniel Kellner, as we're later introduced to him, and so he's played by Josh O'Connor. Kellner is the character that sets this all in motion because he used to work for this shadow organization, the Wardex Corporation.
Wardex Corporation. So are they like a BlackRock? They're like a government deep state contracting company?
Yeah, one of these things that you only hear about in movies that the government doesn't even know about.
Right. So. They're so secretive that nobody even knows where the paychecks go.
We learn a little bit later that this guy was recruited out of jail for cyber crimes. So
isn't that how we got Ant-Man?
This is how we got Ant-Man.
Right. But he says he got this job because he's really good with numbers and he sees math like a language.
Yeah, and there's a specific reason for that, as we find out a little bit later.
But he's a cybersecurity expert who decided he couldn't keep these secrets that the company was covering up secret anymore.
Yeah, because he was privy to lots of secret files, secret videos, and his conscience just got the better of him.
This is why you signed an NDA. It's like, I'm not liking what my company's doing. I'm still getting a paycheck, but good conscience, I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to steal all their information, and everyone needs to know the truth.
So everything that he stole, it's actually physical. They're on thumb drives in his backpack.
Right. So there's still a copy at the office.
Yeah.
It's not like he eradicated them.
And he's also got an alien artifact, which is given away pretty early on.
This is what I refer to as the MacGuffin of this entire movie.
It looks like it could be one of those crystals in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yes, that Superman slides in and his dad talks to him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that had the ability. This thing does whatever you need the plot to do.
Yeah.
You need the plot to move forward. This thing will do it for you.
Just whip out the artifact.
Yeah.
What did they establish? There's 3 altogether. The bad guys have 1 at the Wardex Corporation.
Yeah, and then we saw the chest with 3 of them, but it gets very confusing who has what at what point.
Yeah, I only could keep track of 2 of them.
2 of them. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a 3rd in place somewhere, just still sitting in the suitcase.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're never really explained early on, like, what this is.
So this all takes place off camera. This Wardex Corporation kidnaps Josh O'Connor's girlfriend, Jane.
Bono's daughter, by the way.
Bono's daughter, Eve Hewson. which I didn't know until
I didn't know either until this is what IMDb tells me.
Well, my wife told me after we were walking out of the movie. Yeah.
My wife would point at the screen and be like, "That's that girl that's in that thing," and her dad is that guy. That's about the extent. So she knew that was Bono's daughter. Has she done other work?
She's done other movies, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she must have been trying really hard to fight off that Irish accent in this movie.
Listen, Spielberg asked me to be in a movie and to lose the accent. I'm losing that accent.
Yeah.
It's just, sir, Mr. Spielberg. Right away, Mr. Spielberg.
So, as you said, this alien artifact comes out whenever the plot really needs it. So, of course, this Daniel Kellner, who is the catalyst of everything that's happening in this movie, is not going to be taken into custody like 5 minutes in. He takes out that artifact and gets away. And from this
rescues
point,
his girlfriend.
And rescues his girlfriend. And from this point on, this becomes like a Bourne Identity, Jack Ryan kind of espionage movie.
I was going to hold off until the end of the discussion. This is the X-Files, the perfect series finale. This is how you wanted the X-Files to end. Yeah.
Yes,
but you're right.
I'm going to say
it's a guy on the run. It's Scully and Mulder. They've got all the evidence to reveal that the aliens exist, and we're trying to get away from the Smoky Man.
So the most of what you see, the majority of this movie, is just chase sequence after chase sequence.
Yeah.
Like the Ward Corporation catches up to Kellner, and then a little bit later on, Margaret, who's played by Emily Blunt, joins Kellner because they both have ties to this, to the overarching
Did you see this tie coming a mile away?
Not a mile away, maybe half a mile away.
Okay.
I'll bring this up now since we're just talking about the chase aspect of it.
Yeah.
This is not what I wanted from this movie. You're not being given anything in terms of aliens. Like, you're teased here and there about what's on the thumb drives.
Right, because the girlfriend doesn't know what he stole.
Yeah.
And she's like her life is in danger. These people are chasing after them and shooting at him. He's got a connection, this guy Hugo, who's sending them to like a safe house. And she's like, what are on these discs? What is, I can't tell you. If I tell you, your life will never be the same. Well, then why are you going to tell the rest of the world?
Yeah, you'll find out when I tell everybody else.
That's not fair.
And then your life will never be the same.
Yeah, that's not fair. But I will say there's some really nice chase sequences.
There is. Yeah, really nice absolutely.
Sequences. This is the prologue to
the movie really begins as to what I wanted to see.
Yes.
In the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. The movie is literally called Disclosure Day. And the one thing that we're teased throughout this movie in the background on TV is that the world is headed toward World War III. Everyone's on edge that we're going to go to war, and this is going to be the end all to be all. Nukes are going to drop and all hell's just going to break loose. And this guy feels the need to uncover, tell the world aliens exist. He has the proof.
Because this will unite everyone in a kumbaya kind of moment.
Which makes me laugh because we're living in this right now.
Well, the other thing is that if this were to happen right now, nobody would believe it, that it was real.
Yes. We are so divided as a country that if this info, and we're already getting it, we're getting dumps from the government telling us that here's all these videos we have of these UAPs that we can't explain. Are they alien from another planet? We don't know. We just know they're not human. They're non-human entities.
And it's still regarded as a joke. Yeah.
People don't care. Half the people don't care. The other half don't believe it's real. So this is where I think Spielberg is pie in the sky, that he thinks that this reveal is somehow going to unite this planet.
It's like what's going to happen is the end of Elf, where everybody sings Santa Claus is coming to town.
I would have bought into that more so. So we've got these two characters on the run, and we're introduced to Colin Firth's character, this guy Noah, who it took me 3/4 of the movie to even figure out that was Colin Firth. And I'm like, okay, I know who he is now.
So, like we were saying, he's the head of the Vortex Corporation.
I don't
so
know. If
he's the
just head
one
of
that keeps all
security or
these secrets.
but he's also the guy that's using these alien artifacts to track them. And all he has to do is hold it and look at a picture and be able to pinpoint where they are.
So during the chase sequence, you don't get any aliens because the trailer, is asking the question, what would you do if you knew? So
Right.
again, I'm expecting this movie to show the world adjusting to the truth.
Yes.
Which is not the case.
No, this is all the lead up.
Instead, you have Emily Blunt and Colin Firth trading off scenes of them using this alien artifact, getting glowy eyes and doing whatever they want. So that's your kind of stand-in alien for most of the movie. And I'm sorry, but watching Emily Blunt imitate Quisp is not what I signed up for.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit because, again, we're introduced to these two, Kellner and Jane. They're on the run. He's got the discs. He's being chased by this Black Ops corporation that he stole them from. But then we cut back and we're introduced to Emily Blunt's character, Margaret, and her boyfriend, Wyatt
Lee from Monarch. I was so glad to see
Russell.
him.
Wyatt Russell, who really doesn't have much to do here.
No, he's
again,
just
if
like
Spielberg comes calling, you sign up.
And
but
he doesn't have he just plays in a cafe, right? He's a musician. He doesn't have a job, per se.
And she is a weather woman. She's a newscaster.
She's like a famous weather woman. Yeah.
Okay. So she has the ability to predict that it's going to hail.
Well, here we go with the disclosing on our end. Rather than try to explain 10 different chase sequences to you, let's just cut to the chase here. If you haven't stopped this episode yet and you haven't seen this, stop it right now. We're given the information by the end of the movie that Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's characters as children were abducted.
They were literally on a ship being examined.
And at that time that they were being examined, they were given powers by the aliens.
But powers that didn't get... So here's where I'm confused, because when Kellner and Jane make it to the safe house, they're greeted by a bunch of deer, elk, animals outside. At the same time, so Kellner has like this religious experience staring into the eyes of this elk. At the same time, Margaret has a cardinal fly into her apartment, and she has this weird realization, immediately starts speaking in foreign languages. So somehow these animals, which look more unrealistic than the actual alien, they are horrible CG.
They still haven't mastered.
You know what? Because we know what a cardinal looks like. We know what a deer looks like. At least with an alien, you're like, all right, I buy that it's an alien. Maybe he walks like that.
Yeah. How hard could it be just to get like one real deer in the shot?
Correct. Or a cardinal. So anyways, so these are the aliens. This is how the aliens contact them and release their powers, these locked in abilities that they have. He's been working as a CIA operative or whatever because he's good at math, which is what
you would think that he had this ability his entire life.
Right. And has been using it. Where hers don't seem to be unlock until the bird shows up. Then all of a sudden she's speaking languages. She's late for work. She gets pulled over by the cop, immediately starts mind reading him. You know what? It's not her fault. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
And he just stands there, as she drives away.
Right.
I'm like, is she hypnotizing them at the same time? Because there's another scene at the end where they escape the facility because she's telling everybody that they meet what their personal life is. Right. I'm like, is this just stupefying everybody so much that no one is stopping them? It seems like she's hypnotizing them at the same time.
But then she has the ability, when she has this MacGuffin in her hand, to make the entire house and the people disappear, go invisible. She's able to transform into the guy's wife at one point, his dead wife. And you're like, again, these abilities in this alien artifact do whatever they need to do to get out of a situation. She is fantastic. I'm going to say this right now. Emily Blunt is unbelievable because she's pulling off all of this, because she doesn't understand what's going on either. She's speaking in different languages. She goes on air and she starts doing, as you said, key-op, the clicking or whatever. But he understands her. She's speaking in the alien language, but he understands it. She's speaking perfect English. She said, eat at Joe's. I don't remember what it was she said. So I will say this, early on, before the first chase, there's some really nice cinematography going on. I want to at least give this movie some props. Like, he's using reflections of faces in a mirror with, the scene where Margaret is in the hospital after she collapses on air. And you see her reflection against the guy's head in front of her. Like, she can somehow see, and like, you get the impression that later this is, she can somehow read memories or whatever. He's shooting through glass that has raindrops on it, so it's very atmospheric. And there was a lot of stuff early on that I was like, oh, this is really nice work, but it's all for naught. Like you said, it just becomes this chasing. There's a scene where Kellner and the girl are at the safe house. He goes out in the field, and all of a sudden a crop circle grows around him. That's never explained. Or led you to believe that they're like, I don't know, were the aliens like in their ship and they put like a pin on their Google Maps? There he is. That
could be. That's as good an explanation as any.
But she's still in the house. The guys, they figure out where she is because Noah's using this artifact and he pinpoints where they're hiding. So they all show up. And this moron sneaking through a open dry field, and steals one of their cars. Not a single one of those guys
from under their noses. They're all outside as he's doing this.
And then he drives through the house. How do you know where she's sitting?
And they leave the keys in the car. They all leave their keys in the car, apparently.
They all leave their keys in the car. But this safe house, the weird thing is that, so we find out that Kellner's group that he worked with, he's not alone. There's 12 of them that just didn't show up to work one day. And they have all devised, he's working with this larger group, and this guy, Hugo, who's orchestrating, you see it going on from the time you're introduced to him, that they're building a house, the replica of a farmhouse in a giant warehouse. And you're like, all right, this has got to pay off at the end. And it does, but it doesn't make sense because you didn't know who, it's Margaret's childhood home, but they didn't know she was the other one until she was activated by the bird. So did the aliens tell them, here's the house, here's the blueprints?
Well, at the very, very end, like an old alien comes out in a wheelchair. Where was that alien? Is that like staying with Hugo? Like, in Hugo's guest room? I don't know.
And if that's the case, why even bother bringing all these videos that can easily be fake? Just bring the alien on set. Just wheel him out in front of the friggin' television screen and have him say hello. That would blow my mind. Not these videos that look, here's a picture from Keck.
I will give the movie this, is that during that final 15 minutes, when they finally make it to the newsroom with all these thumb drives, and Kellner tells them, okay, put these live on air. Right. Yeah. And Margaret is with him, and she's kind of hypnotizing everybody into doing it. So nobody's questioning him.
Yeah.
She's taking advantage, for her own career, obviously. So she gets in. I'm going to anchor this. No. I'm going to anchor this. And so they start to play the videos. Now I'm invested. Once all these videos start to play, you're only teased what these videos have earlier on.
Yeah, because thousands of videos are going. So you're right. This is a really nice sequence. It's a nice buildup. But again, this company has been tracking this guy. At one point, they're shooting at them. So you don't even want to capture them anymore. You want to kill them. They're on the train, the guy's shooting at them. Well, clearly, if you get shot, you're falling underneath that train and dying. But the problem is that you're invested in at least Emily Blunt's character, because this Josh O'Connell character he can't hold his own next to her. He's like a dish rag. They start putting the live feed of all these videos in. It goes global. All of a sudden, it's getting picked up by the big, because this is like a local news program.
In Kansas City, Missouri.
So all of a sudden it's getting picked up by the bigger affiliates. They're going live to this. And now you cut to a news person who's now in real time. And I guess she is proxy to us as humans in real time reacting to these videos because she's like stupefied. She's like, I don't know what this is. I don't know
this woman is she is Courtney Grace is the actress's name. She is, I think, challenging Emily Blunt as the MVP here because
she comes out of nowhere in the last 10 minutes of the movie. You know, let Emily Blunt's character have this moment, this realization that this is all real because I experienced it as a child. And again, it's like, and then,
but the videos that you are seeing are fascinating because one of them is Roswell, right? Yeah. And you see the alien bodies being pulled out of that wreckage. There's another video in Pennsylvania where you see a living alien outside of a crash.
Yeah, these are all very famous alien encounters that if you ever watch any of those alien encounter History Channel documentaries, the one in I think it's like out in the UK, there's a Rendlesham. These are all very famous. At one point, you could actually see a Devil's Tower in one of the video feeds.
Yeah, I saw Devil's Tower, so I'm like, oh, is that supposed to be that? That is in the same universe. What happened in Close Encounters is the same universe as what happens in this movie.
Yeah, and we do see that the aliens look slightly different in some of these videos, implying that maybe there's multiple species.
Yes, there's one, because earlier on, the reason that Jane, the girlfriend, gets invested is the same reason that Daniel Kellner got invested. There's one video that shows them doing an autopsy on a living alien.
A living alien. They're literally like holding it down. It's like, and maybe you screaming. Should have recorded that.
It's very disturbing, even knowing that it's not real as the viewer. But there's another scene in the videos that are being shown at the end where it looks like the aliens are all buddy-buddy with this government corporation.
They probably worked with them at one point. I mean, you want to buy into the theory that we reverse engineered.
You see the silhouette of these three little aliens walking with all these government guys from their spaceship into a tent. I almost can hear the aliens saying, okay, so you're not going to probe us, right?
Right,
correct. We're not going to this tent for that.
That's what we do.
And the government guys, oh, no, don't worry.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is a living autopsy is going on.
Right. I said no probing. But then we also get a video of Nixon and Jackie Gleason. Like, what? I don't know.
They didn't even bother to say Jackie Gleason. They're like, oh, yeah, a famous 50s actor.
Was that supposed to be him?
But it could be nobody else.
Nobody. Okay. So are they implying that Jackie Gleason was an alien?
Well, that Nixon just really wanted to impress celebrities.
But again, this is where I think Spielberg is just, it's pie in the sky. Because we're already, I mean, Obama went on a podcast and somebody asked him, are there aliens? That's the first thing I'd ask if I was the president of the United States. Tell me everything you know about Roswell and who shot JFK. It's like a running joke. And Obama said straight up, well, of course there are. So then Trump is like, well, that's confidential information. He's not supposed to be telling people that. But if people are interested, we'll release more information. So this stuff is coming in drips and drabs, and a lot of it came out. We had that whistleblower. This kid is literally a real life general who went to Congress and went on record saying that we have this shit. So it's nothing. This is how the movie should have started.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to, and the one thing with Jane is it's interesting because you find out that she was in a convent, that she was going to be a nun. She lost faith in God. She didn't believe in God. And now she's really questioning, well, if this is real, what does that mean about God? And you want to follow this thought process because she goes back to the head nun, and the nun's like, well, God said we are, his greatest creation on earth. That doesn't mean he didn't go and create, so there's a workaround.
Yeah, like, why would he put this,
but he doesn't
massive universe there and just have it for us?
He doesn't follow up on that. You want to follow that. You go watch Contact with Jodie Foster. That's a much better thought-provoking movie. This leads you up to all this stuff, and there's no payoff. The more I think about this movie, the more disappointed I am that it's a lot of build-up for nothing.
because it's almost like the season 1 cliffhanger of The Walking Dead where the guy whispers to Rick in the
there's a cure.
CDC. You don't know what he's saying until, seasons later, but that's what the alien like gives a message to Emily
The
Blunt.
alien whispered. So it's like all this buildup, bringing her back into her childhood home to release this memory of her being abducted as children and that they had this connection. But then the alien says something to Kellner. He understands it and then whispers it to her. She goes up on stage and just says, listen. And then it cuts to black. Yeah. I'm still listening. I'm waiting. What can they possibly say that's going to avert World War III? And listen, I mean, we've talked about ambiguous endings, and you're left to your own. You fill in the blank.
As we talked about before, if this were actually being shown on TV, this montage of videos, it wouldn't be believed. So they kind of throw you a bone, those people that are thinking that. You hear a voiceover in one of the studios, is this AI? And then somebody answers saying, oh, no, the pixels aren't doing such and such.
Yeah, like you can tell that on a TV screen. I don't know. Again, it's if this came out 20 years ago, I might be like, all right, that's kind of cool. And yeah, if aliens are real, how would people react? We'll never know. Yeah. Or could she just control them by in the TV screen, the way that she was acting toward the end, where she could control these people? Could she just go on front of national television and be like, listen, this is real. They're not here to harm you.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, oh, okay. What happens if somebody falls in love with an alien? Now we got issues. Half this country would not believe this. Listen, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. It's an entertaining movie. The chase sequences alone. It's eye candy and it's a popcorn movie.
The train sequence is phenomenal. But again, watching Duel after this, I'm watching this and the guy's sitting in front of the trains going through the tracks, cars sitting there waiting for the arms to open up, and the truck comes up behind him. And I said, oh, imagine if that truck starts pushing this car. And that's exactly what it does. Yeah. And I'm like, you just stole from yourself. When we get to Duel, he even swipes something for Jurassic Park with that object and mirror closer than it appears, which is fine. Like you said, it's your work. You can pilfer from it. Fun chase scenes, a lot of silliness. And I hate to say it, 94-year-old John Williams, the score didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I don't think I
realized or acknowledged it. Right. There you go. That's all you need to say. I don't remember it. And you just saw this yesterday. But yeah, there's silly stuff that happens throughout this movie that people don't even question. I don't know. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
And this MacGuffin, this alien artifact that's never explained how it's used. She uses it to the point where it actually burns up in her hand because no one else can touch it without passing out or disappearing. And yet these other, Noah especially, uses it and he controls it.
But like when you get the flashback of them as kids, you see all these artifacts is what imbues them with whatever powers that they were given. They were recovered from a crash site, maybe? I don't know. And they even come in their own little sleeves.
They did have little carry cases. Maybe the group realized pretty quickly we can't touch these. Let's build a case for them.
Yeah, when they buy them off of Amazon on their home planet, they also have to. We have to add on the carry case.
That's extra.
It's an entertaining movie, but it's not necessarily what I was expecting of it.
Yeah,
it's competently made. I'd probably watch it again if it came on cable and I would just happen to be there. Buckets wise, I think I'm going to go 3.5.
Oh, I'm at 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Really?
The more I think about this, the more it falls apart. This thing went through 44 drafts of script. Maybe you should have hit 45. Maybe. And again, we talked about this, the screenwriter David Koepp, who wrote Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Mission Impossible, Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't go anywhere. It's a lot of build up for nothing.
You can lose yourself just watching that build up. Don't expect too much.
And it's 2.5 hours. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes. But like I said, sitting in the theater, I enjoyed it. I mean, I walked away going, that was the ending. But the more I think about it, and I try to stay away from reviews, no one else's opinion needs to factor into my thoughts. But after a while, I'm like, this just is not holding up. I don't know. Like I said, if this was the series finale of X-Files and it's Mulder, and you went through 8 seasons of him trying to prove that aliens exist, that his sister was abducted, all that stuff. And here he is. He's got all these discs. He's ready to go to the Scully's got the chip in her head, all this stuff. Smokey Man's chasing after them. And at the end of the series, boom, here it is. Everything has been revealed. That to me would at least be like a game changer. You're like, that's
but even that would be disappointing because, again, you're not getting the good stuff until the very, very end. It's just going to be a chase.
No, but I just feel that it would be like, at least you could be like, he's at least been proven right after all this time. He's not crazy. I don't know. That's the best I got.
Audiences, I'm not even going to go into what critics say because it's so divided,
Yeah.
But audiences polled by CinemaScore as they're leaving the film gave it an average grade of B.
Okay.
So that's fair.
That is fair. Like I
I'd
said,
probably go a little
bit.
Maybe I'd give it a B+, but
coming out of the theater, like you said, there was a lot of nice action sequences. There's some really nice cinematography. Emily Blunt's acting is phenomenal. So there's a lot to hang your hat on. It's just that ending that we're giving you nothing at the end.
Budget-wise, it cost $115 million to make,
really
and that's not
much.
counting, marketing and all that.
Right.
So far, as of this weekend, and I believe as we speak, it's in its second weekend.
Yeah.
It's made $175 million worldwide, and they're saying that it needs to hit 300 to break even. So, and with this weekend, I heard that it had like a huge drop of 60%.
It dropped a third because you got Toy Story and what's the other one that just dropped? Supergirl.
So, shed no tears for Steven Spielberg, though. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
But, I know, but at 79, are you like, is he just now losing, a step?
If they had Richard Dreyfuss come back at the end,
that would have, that
he's
was
still alive.
That was the rumor floating around, is that this could very well be a unofficial sequel to Close Encounters.
And it kind of is, because you do get that shot of Devil's Tower, as we said.
Yeah.
So it does give the suggestion that these things happened in the same universe.
But again, is that just a silly throwaway little Easter egg? Hey, it's a Spielberg movie, so let's, it's like throwing a shark in the background somewhere.
Or having the car push the other car onto the train track.
Well, that was definitely him just be like, hey, I did this in a movie 40, 50 years ago.
Which is crazy, thinking that Duel is the movie we picked to go along.
Yeah, no, I had
one.
no clue that these 2 scenes were in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, that's fun.
So before we get there, though, it's my turn for concessions.
Yeah.
This is not something that you'll find in the movie theater concession stand. It's not something even on shelves anymore. It's another one of these discontinued items. So I'm going to Saturday morning.
Oh, cereal.
So we're talking cereal. Now, I think this is justified because Duel was a TV movie.
Okay.
So you could conceivably be eating this cereal as you're watching Duel, not on Saturday morning. And it is Alien adjacent. I am talking about Quaker Oats Quisp.
Quisps.
Now, established in 1965, and this is fascinating because it was built around this character
the guy with the beanie?
Quisp, the guy with a little, the beanie with a propeller on the top of his hat that could fly around. The character of Quisp, created by Jay Ward, who also created Rocky and Bullwinkle.
There you go.
Dudley Do-Right,
Do-Right,
Hoppity Hooper, all those. So that's why Quisp looks very similar to those. But apparently when this was released in 1965 by Quaker Oats, they had the character first. They asked Jay Ward to make them a couple of mascot characters, and then they would build cereals around them. So that's where Quisp came from. Now, Quaker Oats also makes Captain Crunch.
Okay.
So, again, created by that character by Jay Ward. Quisp is a very similar taste, maybe the same taste as a matter of fact, just a different shape than Captain Crunch. Now, Captain Crunch, to me, is infamous for just destroying the inside of your mouth.
The roof of your mouth.
It is unforgiving as a cereal. It's like when you bite into it, the jagged edges that are created are just unequaled.
I'm pretty sure it was created by a dentist just to destroy your mouth.
Yeah, so they're just blocks of granite, right? That's Captain Crunch. Quisp was the same taste, but they're like in round little wafer saucer shapes.
I do remember them.
What's a good way to describe the taste of Captain Crunch? Like a buttery, sweet buttery kind of taste, I guess?
I don't know, because I always gravitated toward the peanut butter one.
Okay. Yeah. But you get that same taste without the damage to your mouth. When this thing was created, when the character was created, when the cereal was created in 1965, a sister cereal was also created with another character. This cereal was called Quake, and the character, the mascot of Quake cereal, was a miner. Like meaning, a miner that goes underground. Yeah, like an earthquake. And he was like a superhero miner where he had like the hat with the light on it, but he had a purple cape with a big Q on his shirt.
I thought you were going to tell me he was an underage child.
There was different shapes of cereal, but again, it was the same flavor. So it was basically the same cereal, the two. It just had different names and different mascots. So the thing with Quake was it was underground, it went inward. While Quisp was out in space, it went outward. So you could actually draw parallels between Quake and Quisp and Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor.
Wow, that's a deep dive.
Because their powers, Emily Blunt's powers went inward because she was looking at the human condition, the empathy of humans, and she was empathetic to everyone else. While Josh's powers were outward into space. He understood the mathematics of the universe.
Language of math, yeah.
So Josh O'Connor is Quisp, and Emily Blunt is Quake. I'm ad-libbing here.
You win the concession treat explanation there, tie-in.
So as the years roll on, every ad campaign for Quisp also featured Quake. They were always fighting in between themselves as to who had the better cereal. Really the same, it's just different shapes. Because I guess while Quisp had saucer shapes, Quake cereal were more akin to Captain Crunch, where it was supposed to be like, stuff he was mining from the inner earth. So by the time 1972 came around, Quaker Oats decided to actually do a contest. So in their commercials, they asked kids to write in as to which cereal they prefer.
Oh, no. Really?
Yes. So, of course, because, I know Quisp, and I didn't know about Quake.
Yeah, kids killed it off, huh?
So they did this about 3 or 4 times in the 70s, where they would have these contests. And then, they would come out with a commercial saying, Quisp won. But finally, they had a contest, and they said that, okay, whoever loses is going away. We're discontinuing.
That's a lot of pressure on a kid.
It is.
What if I liked Quakes? I don't want Quake to go away.
Quisp won again. So Quake was relegated to the dustbins of time after that. They buried him. Ever since then, Quisp was in those glory salad days of the 70s, it was all over the grocery store. But as time went on, getting into the 80s, Quisp suddenly became rarer and rarer. And at this point, every once in a while, Quaker Oats will put it out as like a limited pop-up display.
Oh, it's like when you bring back Fruit Root.
Exactly. So I actually went to the store thinking that they still made Quisp, and I wanted to buy a box before I talked about it. But I couldn't find it. Then I looked it up, and I realized the reason that I thought that it was out is every once in a while, I would see it on the shelf.
Huh.
But then they take it down again.
I'm pretty sure you could probably find a box on eBay, but the expiration date was 83.
Yeah. In the late 70s, Quake made one more gasp before it finally was put to rest. It was repackaged the character became Australian for whatever reason.
Is he down under?
And the cereal was renamed Quake's Orange Quangaroos with a Q.
Really? Wow. What did that taste like? Orange.
And just to really add insult to injury, they had one more contest where Quisp went against Quake's Orange Quangaroos.
They're just setting the Quangaroos up for failure.
Yep. Of course, Quisp won.
Of course not. At least Quisp has been around since '65.
Yeah, and it's an alien, so you know, of course you're going to like the alien better.
Bring a new contender in and be like, all right, which one's your favorite? Yeah. I don't know. I met that guy 5 minutes ago. So, a mention of promoting, going back to Disclosure Day, one of the nicest shots and reveals is when the flashback of the kids in the exam room of the alien spaceship, and the camera pans around, and it's the elk deer, but when it comes to the other side, it's the alien face. Yeah. And you realize that those animals were the aliens all along. That's how they presented themselves. And it's like it's ruined in the trailer. It's like that's one of the few times you actually see the alien. Whatever. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was Quisp.
I would assume that they probably had all kinds of little toys and stuff that you could...
I'm sure that they did, just like anything else. Yeah. But anybody that actually, like me, thinks that Quisp is still being made, it's not the case. So if you ever see it on the shelf, it's only for a limited time, so, grab it. Yeah.
I don't think kids nowadays have that affinity for this breakfast cereal like that, because you just don't have Saturday morning cartoons. That's like a shared Gen X core memory.
Yeah, well, that's how we remember cereal, as being tied to Saturday morning cartoons. Now it's just utilitarian. It's like what you eat for breakfast before school. There's nothing fun associated with it.
No. Yeah, very cool. I like it.
Quisp.
Quisp.
All right, so let's get into Duel.
1971. I didn't realize Spielberg just came off shooting an episode of Columbo when he was presented with this script.
Yeah, he did quite a bit of TV back then.
Yeah, he did. And this popped up, made for TV movie. We want you to shoot it. How old was he? Maybe 25?
Maybe even less.
Younger.
Maybe younger.
21, but I didn't crunch the numbers.
So this was released on ABC.
Okay.
On the evening of November 13th, 1971. 6 days before my first birthday.
Ah, there you go.
I may be speaking out of school here, but as I was not cognizant enough to know what was being shown on TV movies, but I would imagine that somebody just tuning into this, unbeknownst, would just get wrapped up in it immediately. So I would think that this would be unlike anything that was on TV at the time. I agree with you.
This is 5 minutes in, and you're already off and running with this cat and mouse. I've seen it. You said you've never even seen this.
No.
The wild thing watching this on DVD is that there's no clear commercial cuts.
No, you're right, because I was looking at this, and I think the reason for that is that there was a significant amount of footage added to this for the international theatrical release. There are key scenes in here that you would think it couldn't live without that weren't in the original TV cut.
Oh, interesting. I guess I didn't realize that when I was watching the DVD that it was a theatrical recut. I thought what I was watching was exactly what was presented on ABC. Because it's only 74 minutes. So most of those network TV movies were 2 hours with commercials, right?
So they probably had 74 minutes, but in total it was a 2-hour runtime when you factor in the commercials.
Most of the commercials back then ran every 15 minutes.
It could have even been a 90-minute movie of the week. If
it could have been. Yeah, more than likely that probably is exactly it. But there's no clear cut. Like, we've watched
where things fade to black.
They fade to black
and fade back up again.
Like right to that, you actually write to those breaks.
Like Salem's Lot is like that.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to remember some of the movies we've covered in the past that were made for TV movies that actually had that built in. This is not. This is balls to the wall. So
they would have to actually try to go in, whoever the poor editor was for ABC, to find places that they could cut into to go to commercial, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I listen to enough podcasts now and they have dynamic ads and they just, some of the host is right in the middle of a thought and it just cuts to a commercial. And I'm like, we can't be a little more judicial with this stuff.
But I love the opening of this, and apparently this was not in the TV version where you see the car's point of view backing out of the
Really?
garage.
Yeah, going through the city as
Yeah.
he's making his way out into the desert.
And I love it because every time they hold the credits until he goes through a tunnel where it's black.
Yes,
And
yeah,
then
the F because you're getting the FM radio.
yeah.
You're just getting the banter of the morning drive guys, the radio. Yeah, no, it's great. It really kind of sets the mood.
So you just see him go through the city, then suddenly he's out in the country. So it's just like country roads with just fields or mountains on either side. It's a bright red car. So he's sticking out like,
Yeah.
You can't miss
he
him.
works that to his advantage later on. There's a couple nice shots. You can really see Spielberg like I just came out of art school, and so some of these shots are like, look at this. I'm shooting through an abandoned lawn full of cars. And you just get the red car in the background a couple times, and yeah, there's some nice shots going on there.
But the thing is with this red car, once the duel actually starts, and then the truck will disappear, and you're looking for it to reappear again. This guy is like a sitting duck because you can see his car from miles away.
And meanwhile, this trunk, which I guess they actually did. Did you watch the behind the scenes interview with Spielberg? So he talks about the fact that they did like a truck audition. Like the set designers brought him like 5 or 6 trucks and he got to pick one. This thing blends in with the landscape.
And it looks absolutely evil as
menacing.
well.
It looks I've seen this movie once or twice over the years. I don't remember the human element. I remember this thing being like a demonic possessed truck.
No, my wife said the same thing. She was mixing this up with the car, which is very similar, but there's no driver. It's like a possessed car.
Yeah, but we clearly see there's a driver. There's a human driver. At one point, he waves them on. It's got fuel. It's a fuel truck.
But it raises the question, is this guy just insane and killing people on the road, and he's not really doing or going anywhere?
And clearly, he doesn't have any petrol because at the end, when he crashes, he doesn't blow up.
Right.
Every car blows up when it crashes. But yes, Spielberg also mentioned that the multiple license plates on the front of the truck indicate all of his kills from other states. And I'm like, so he gets out and takes the license plate off the car?
He must do. But then again, he's broadcasting that he's a killer because if any cop worth his salt would like investigate any of these license plates.
But they're all on the front of the truck. I mean, it's one thing if you're driving behind him and you're like, all right,
but he's got to go through way stations, right? You can't.
There's leaps of logic here. He gets you invested right away. And you're like you said, it's the point of view of the car as it's making way out of the city. You know, the chatter on the radio sets the tone. And you don't even meet Dennis Weaver's character right away. You don't see him as a human being. And then you see he's got a suit and tie on. He's driving along. He's got his glasses on. Is he a salesman?
Yeah, it's not immediately apparent, but apparently he is a salesman and he's going to meet a client.
He's got to go a long way.
Yeah. At some point, I'm like, midway through the movie, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not. This is not meant to be. I am turning around
like
right
now. The sales that's going to skyrocket him to the VP position or something.
But at some point he realizes he's not going to make it, so it doesn't matter anymore.
No, but it's great because he has a conversation with his wife at the payphone, and she's like, you see the kids are home. Are you going to be home in time for dinner? It's like, I don't know where this guy's going, but I don't think he's going to make it home in time for dinner.
But she's questioning his manhood. She's like, why didn't you stand up for me at the party last night?
I know.
So that all figures into how this plays out as well.
Well, I love the fact that his character's name is David Mann. He's just a man. Man versus machine. But there's a shot. Again, going back to Spielberg, and this is like man is on the payphone. He pulled over to get gas. Meanwhile, that attendant dumps gas all over his car. And it's like a laundromat gas station. and the lady comes in and she's putting laundry in. So he's shooting man against the backdrop of the door. And she opens up the laundry door, the dryer that has the glass. So now he's shooting through the glass as she's putting laundry in. And you see him in the background just being emasculated by his wife on the phone. For a made-for-TV movie, this kid was like, above and beyond.
The beginning, even before he gets to that phone call, he passes the truck. And this is what makes it as scary as it is because
this is all it takes. This is
did this guy pick out the car even as he was behind him? Like, this is the guy I'm going to get today.
This is the guy. Oh, look at this guy.
So I'm going to go slow and let him pass me, and then I'm not going to leave him alone.
I will say this though, in the truck driver's defense. There are multiple times that Dennis Weaver is driving about 15 miles under the speed limit. Come on, dude. Just everyone says speed kills, but going under the speed limit can also kill you.
And apparently truck drivers all wear the same boots and jeans.
And again, I hate to say it, but Spielberg even talked about this. Like that is so Hitchcockian. Like he literally had the psycho going on at one point when this guy, he's being tormented by this truck. He pulls off to have lunch, and then he sees the truck parked across the street, and all of a sudden the realization, that guy is here in this building with me right now. And that camera work, he's zooming in on all these guys' faces as they're eating, and one by one, they're all turning around and looking at him sitting in the booth, and he's just losing his freaking mind.
And he's got, he's got sweat all over his shirt. I'm like, at this point, like, you're not even presentable enough to make this meeting.
And like you said, he saw the boots when the guy got out of the truck. So that's the only indicator he has, like, identifiable. So now he's just scanning all of the stools, and he's looking at the boots, and they're all wearing the same boots. And you're like, oh.
The reason he's at the diner is because the truck at that point was right on him, chasing him down a hill.
Yeah.
So forced him off the road, and he drove his car through a fence, and then the truck just kept going. So then he goes into the diner.
Then he leaves the fence. Dude, you just destroyed property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody that works at the diner just think he's some city slicker that's lost his mind.
What happened out there? Right? The guy's like pouring sweat.
Check this guy out wearing a tie.
Right. At one point, did he call him a fat ass? I'm like, did you say that on national TV back then?
This is what I read about the international version is that after the movie aired on TV, Spielberg had to go back and film additional scenes for the international version. So they added mild profanity.
Okay, that makes sense.
And like I was saying before, some major set pieces. That whole scene with the school bus was not in the TV version.
I don't remember that. I literally wrote that in my notes. I don't remember the scene at all.
Yeah,
and it does kind of bring it to a bit of a standstill, because he immediately tried. So there's a school bus on the side of the road that is broken down, and the kids are out running around on the side of the road. And the school bus guy says, "Hey, why don't you bring up that car and just put up behind me and push me?" He's like, "I can't do that. I'm going to get stuck." "Nah, you're fine." And he immediately gets stuck. But this is, like you said, the truck had already gone by. And he goes, and all of a sudden he turns around and comes back.
Now, is this the same tunnel, the Roger Rabbit tunnel?
No, that is not.
It looked like it, though.
That's in town. That's in the city. That's also the same tunnel that Marty chases down Biff in the car.
But I love this scene because he's also yelling at the kids, like, "Get off my trunk!"
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and then he's forced to. Now he gets stuck.
Well, that shows how desperate he is. He's even willing to dent his own car to get out of there.
Well, this reminded me a lot of Falling Down with Michael Douglas, where he's just a guy. His car breaks down. There's traffic, and he's just trying to get home. And as the movie progresses, he's just slowly losing his mind, and that's what's happening with this guy. And you already see that he's being berated by his wife. He just needs to go and make this deal. Even though it's not really, you're led to believe, he's going somewhere important. And this truck is harassing him, and he passes him multiple times. And one time he gets behind him, and the truck driver waves him on, but there's a car coming. And I'm like, you're a dick. What a moron. Oh.
the truck driver is hoping to see a head-on collision here because he's insane.
Yeah, you never really get the motivation of this.
But the truck driver actually comes back and helps the school bus.
Which makes me think that he's not all that bad unless he really likes to taste the children.
Once Dennis Weaver drives away, he could have drove the bus off the side of the cliff.
Right.
And then gone down and picked up the license plate.
It looks like he was doing a good deed. Meanwhile, you see in a news report next diner, school bus with 12 children.
That would have been fantastic.
Then I would have been scared. Then I would have been like, I need to get out of Dodge. But this is also where, you get the shot. This truck is just barreling up. So the nice thing about this, which is all shot on location, which Spielberg was like, this is great. They plotted out this entire, 20 miles of road, like where all these sequence, like he literally took an aerial view with a map of the entire road system.
Like with a hand-drawn map.
Where everything was, he had 6 days to shoot this. No, 10. I think it was 10 days. And like 3.5 days before it aired. That's pressure. So you're on it. You got to get out there. You got to shoot. They only had one truck and they had one car. There's no hero truck. There's no stunt truck. At the end of the movie, they destroyed both of them. So if that didn't go right, then you're screwed. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So I wonder then how they came back and filmed other scenes.
I knew nothing about this international shot.
So also the question is raised. So the other great thing, how the suspense ratchets up in the diner, and there's just an inner monologue going on with Dennis Weaver, like wondering who it is that's in the diner with him. And then it turns out that the guy never was in the diner because the truck drives away.
He's just toying with him.
Yeah.
Just toying with him.
While he was in the bathroom of the diner, he went in and said, I got free boots for everybody, and then left.
Here, guys, we're gonna fuck with that guy. Put these boots on real quick. Boots on. But that's another nice shot because it's all one camera shot. He's in front. He walks in. He goes, "Where's your bathroom?" I'm like, "What happened out there? Can I use your bathroom?" And you just see him the entire way through the diner into the restroom. One single shot. When he ordered his Swiss cheese on rye, he spelled out rye, R-Y-E. Why did he not think that the girl knew what rye was?
No, because he thinks this is probably just another way that Spielberg uses to alienate him from everybody in this diner. That's the only.
He thinks he's better than everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you don't know what kind of fancy bread that is. I don't know. But then the truck drives away and he starts chasing it on foot. Like, what if he turned around?
Yeah, I know. Well, then what would you do?
But again, this is like, this guy's just falling apart.
And you get the scene where he stops at the other gas station to make the phone call, and the poor snakes, the lady with the snakes.
Did you recognize that lady?
I knew who she was. I knew that I've seen her before, but I didn't realize right away that she was the 1949 or 1941 lady.
Right. Belushi flies in with the plane, fill her up.
Did she have snakes in 1941?
I don't know. But again, like Weaver did that stunt, one take. He's standing in the phone booth in the middle of the desert, surrounded by all these animals in cages, and the truck just barrels down and runs it over. It's like, boy, if your main actor doesn't jump, I mean, I'm clearly, I don't think he was as close as it looks, but still.
At some point, I'm thinking, is he like imagining this truck? But that's not the case because the gas station attendant interacts with that driver, and also the school bus interacts with the driver. But he's also causing harm to this woman here. So you know that he is not just after him. Right. This is just like somebody that is psychotic or, doesn't care.
But this is also this whole scene with the animals and the snakes and the spiders, and that rattlesnake looked like it was pretty close to him. I don't know how they pulled that off, but
and the poor lady's like, "My snakes! Why did he do
she's
that?"
Making money off that. At least he didn't kill the coyote that was chained to the damn pole. Before this was when he was sitting at the train tracks, and the truck starts pushing him into it. And I'm like, dude, it's insane. What are you doing?
The train goes by when he finally pushes him onto the track, but of course in Disclosure Day, he's got more money to work with, so they can actually have the train drag that car. But then we get the old couple that stop, and he tries to flag them down.
Yep.
And of course, if you watch that documentary, you find out that same old couple is also in the back of the van in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes, right. Wearing the masks or whatever.
Yep.
I did see at one point when he was stopped in the middle of the road that the Griswold's car came around the corner and almost ran him over. I'm like, now they're never going to make it to Wally World.
But there's a fake out, because when he does stop the car by the train tracks and he's like, okay, I'm just going to let you drive for hours.
Which is smart. He backed up and then he's exhausted.
And then there's that fake out where the train goes by and you think it's the truck.
Did you hear the truck?
But again, he's just sitting there by the side of the road. So he's, it's not even like he's hiding. He's just
he backed up behind that wall. But yeah, if the guy looked in his rearview mirror, he would have seen him clear as day. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? This is like Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Then you think he sees a cop and it's just the pest control guy.
Oh, I know. I would have at least pulled over and hid behind that guy. Not a cop to be found, by the way.
And then at the end, you ratchet up the suspense, because there's a couple of scenes where when he stops the different gas stations, they offer to look at his radiator hose.
You got to change that radiator hose.
And that's what blows at the end.
Yep. I literally wrote that. Probably should have replaced that.
Yeah.
It comes to a screaming halt because now his car can barely make it up the hill. It's dragging, but the truck is dragging too. So it's a slow burn chase, but you're still like there's a fair amount of time you're into this movie before the soundtrack even kicks in. And you're like, you don't even realize that there was no music. But this whole sequence, as he's making it up the hill, he's got to make it up the hill. There's smoke billowing out the back of his car. And the truck, the truck's on his ass, and then it backs off or whatever. And again, it's not a high-speed chase, but at the same time, it's like so riveting. You're like, can he make it up the hill? Can he make it up? I just got to make it up this hill.
Today, this is pretty tame, but still suspenseful. So that's why I'm thinking, like in 1971, if you saw this on TV.
Right? All right, honey, kids are in bed. Let's watch this movie of the week, because you didn't really have much entertainment beyond those 3 channels back then.
At the very end, this is why I think a lot of people would confuse this with The Car, that movie, because both vehicles have the same demise at the end of both of these movies. They both drive off a cliff. But in this case, Dennis Weaver gets out of the car and lets the truck think that he's in it and to push him off the cliff, but goes off with him. So apparently the guy didn't know that there was a cliff, and
I don't know. Right. Like, I didn't really think he was looking to kill himself.
Yeah.
But man turned the car around because he hits the truck head on. He puts his suitcase on the gas pedal, jumps out of the car, and it smashes head on into the truck. And the truck. So maybe the smoke and the fire blinded the driver as to the fact that they were at the top of a cliff.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it's pretty spectacular. And of course, he even points it out in the behind the scenes. One take, they had, 12 cameras on it. And he said, we just used the one shot the whole way down, and everything is covered in plume of smoke. And then all of a sudden the tail end of the tanker comes floating out and drops. And you're like, that looks just like the damn shark's tail at the end of Jaws. And he even points out he used the same sound effect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this guy really likes to go back to the well. All right, worked that first time. I also think because of his success of shooting on location here is what destroyed him on shooting Jaws. He's like, well, he did it in the desert. Yeah, well, yeah, shooting live in the ocean's not the same.
But he was absolutely right that this movie, you couldn't do it with back projection. It would take you out of the movie.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's just it. Yeah. Studio's like, well, we'll let you do it as long as you can stay on budget. That's really what it comes down to. As long as you can stay on budget and on time, keep doing it the way you're doing it. Otherwise, we're going to step in and make you. And that's what adds to its authenticity. I will tell you, the disc from the library froze on me the last 5 minutes.
No.
Literally, I couldn't. I had to pop it out. I couldn't get it to play. I had to go to YouTube to watch the last 5 minutes. Even though I know how it ended, I had to just watch it. I made it that far into the movie. I'm like, son of a So I'm like, all right. So I'm assuming that he found a cop and the guy was arrested and he made it to his meeting on time. No, that's not what happened.
Because it's not like he has a cell phone to call anybody.
And at no point did he call whoever he was supposed to meet with and be like, hey, listen, I might be a couple minutes late. I don't know what time his meeting was. But,
yeah, that's who he should have been calling right before he jumped out of the phone booth.
No, he's calling the cops. This guy's after me.
Yeah.
What's your number, sir?
When it was released on TV, it did a Nielsen rating of 20.9, which means it was the 18th highest rated TV movie of that year. So, but
he'll beat it.
I don't know. But 17 other movies beat it.
So.
But there's a story out there in his book, The Last Kings of Hollywood. Paul Fisher tells a story of how George Lucas, at a party thrown by Francis Ford Coppola, went upstairs to a bedroom to watch Duel. And at the first commercial break, he ran down, yelled, Francis, you've got to come see this movie. This guy's really good.
Oh, that's how he got on his radar.
Yep.
That's pretty wild. And then Francis Ford Coppola says, I'm not going in your bedroom with you, George. George, we talked about this. I'll tell you, it still holds up.
It does still hold up. It does.
Pretty wild. I can't believe you've never seen this.
So with all of its drawbacks, I did find Disclosure Day entertaining. I'm going to go equal with what I gave Disclosure Day, 3.5 buckets out of 5.
Yeah. I think from a young kid coming out of art school who really only was getting his start shooting TV shows, Columbo, which were probably formulaic. You probably couldn't have much leeway with stuff like that. Maybe a camera angle here or there. This is a huge calling card to have the opportunity to shoot this. And like you said, George Lucas took 15 minutes into the movie and he's like, this guy's got something.
Yeah. There's
a lot of nice editing. The fact that it is shot completely, live out in location. I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing that something like this was made and that the studio didn't pull it or make edits. I knew nothing about the international because, like I said, I just kept saying I don't see where there's a commercial break here. So I'm going to give a 4.
4, okay.
4. I think this holds up. I was on the seat of my pants, even though I knew exactly how it was going to end. It's really a one-person play.
So as I'm looking at this, according to Wikipedia, at 74 minutes, it was not long enough for a international theatrical release. Okay. So Spielberg had 2 days to film several new scenes to push it out to 90 minutes. Longer opening sequence, including the back out of the garage.
Yep.
The phone conversation with the wife in the laundromat was not in the TV version.
There you go. So that's all stuff you can shoot without the car.
The encounter with the broken down school bus and the confrontation at the railroad crossing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that railroad crossing really kind of ramps it up, though. Like that, that just really just ratchets up the. So then you wouldn't really get any kind of like, all right, this guy's just being a jerk until he got to the snake lady and tried to run him over in the phone booth.
Right.
I think that guy's trying to rat me out. I better run him over. Nice.
All right. So cool. What else did we do?
What else did you do?
I didn't do much, so I'm just going to talk about one of the trailers I saw.
Okay.
Before Disclosure Day. Now, let me look up what the name of this movie was because I didn't jot that down. I just was so... It had Pete Davidson, and it was like a bank heist movie. How to Rob a Bank. So this is coming out later this year. It's got John C. Reilly. It's got Pete Davidson and Nicholas Holtz, who we know from the X-Men movies, as Beast, and Zoe Kravitz. So it begins. Did you see the trailer for this?
I did, where they're wearing the wolf masks or whatever.
They're wearing, it looks like a Point Break kind of a thing, but they're supposed to be good guys.
They're like Robin Hood kind of a thing. They're giving the money to...
And they're filming all their robberies for YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
So it begins with one of these YouTube videos where Nicholas Holtz in a mask is talking to camera and he's saying, He's talking about odds, and he said it's 4 to 10 odds that you'll own your own house. It's 2 to 10 odds that you'll ever have a 6-figure job, but it's 9 and 10 odds that you'll do a successful armed robbery. I'm like, do you want to really put this fact out in a movie? You know how many people are going to say, hey,
you're going to see an uptick in bank robberies?
This is going to be like 9 out of 10. I can do it. That's what he says.
It literally says the title, How to Rob Banks.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
First of all, like, why would you say that? And then second of all, I'm like, is that really true? The 9 out of 10 that do a armed robbery get away with it? That doesn't seem right.
You know how 10 out of 10? Don't post it on YouTube.
So I don't think I'm going to be going to see How to Rob a Bank, in other words.
No, so you want to talk about a movie you don't want to see?
Yeah. It just annoyed me. So yeah, I'm going to drop that little factoid.
You're right though. It did have Point Break vibes.
Yeah.
So I finally got to see a movie that was in the theaters a little bit ago, starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson.
The Sheep Detective?
No, I've heard good things about that.
That's on Peacock already.
I heard it's like a Knives Out. I've actually read a lot of really good reviews on that. I might have to watch it now because
talk about bad CG animals.
I just missed that trailer. I'm like, you're gonna tout Hugh Jackman and then immediately kill him? You better show up in some flashbacks. But no, I'm talking about Song Sung Blue, which I didn't realize at the time is based on a true story.
It is not a Neil Diamond biopic.
So it's not a biopic per se. He is both of these characters, Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, are impersonators. She is a Patsy Cline. He was doing a Don Ho. They were part of like a tour. You know, here's this guy over there doing Michael Jackson, and we got Tina Turner, and this guy is Buddy Holly. And Hugh Jackman's just always, I got to do better. I need to be me kind of a thing. And he's a huge Neil Diamond fan. And so he meets this Kate Hudson character and she says, you should just do Neil Diamond. Oh, I can't do Neil Diamond. He's my hero. I love him. And anyways, long story short, they become a Neil Diamond cover band, end up getting married. And it's fun in the sense that, you know, Hugh Jackman, who is a song and dance man to begin with, doing all of his own singing. She's doing the singing, a lot of, you know, Neil Diamond songs. I'm a huge Neil Diamond. I love him. Took my parents years ago to Madison Square Garden, saw him in concert. And then it takes a really dark turn. It is not a feel-good movie. I thought I was getting in for a nice little romp with Neil Diamond songs, and it goes ugly really quick. But there's a 2008 doc of the same name called Song Sung Blue about the husband and wife team of this Mike and Claire. And it's like there's a scene they open for Eddie Vedder for Pearl Jam.
Really?
So in the doc, Eddie Vedder is in it talking about it. But in the movie, they have an actor playing Eddie Vedder. And they recreate this moment where they open for Pearl Jam. And of course, the crowd's not into it at all until Eddie Vedder comes out and starts singing with them. But the running joke is that you need to open with Sweet Caroline. No. That's everyone knows Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. I don't want to do Sweet Caroline. He has a vast library at his disposal, much better songs. And of course, he realizes pretty quickly that that is, in fact, the song he needs to start with, because you need to get people invested. There's a scene where they get hired to do a bar, and it's like a biker bar, and these guys are not having it. So yeah, it's pretty wild, but it does take an ugly turn. So, but just to see Hugh Jackman sing some Neil Diamond stuff, always fun.
And this is on Netflix, I think.
This is on Netflix, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what are we doing next time?
We are actually diving into the DC universe.
We are. And this came out a lot quicker than I expected it to.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, but Superman was only last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they teased this character at the end of that movie. I know people who are diehard Superman fans, and when they saw the trailer were like, I don't want anything to do with this. because it looks like she's, playing it irreverent. And it's James Gunn, who we know from Guardians of the Galaxy. He did shoot Superman. I think we thought that was okay.
Yes, we did.
I don't think we shit on it, but I don't think we really applauded it either. From the beginning, him taking over the DC universe, I think he's got a weird, quirky element to him that works very well in that Guardians of the Galaxy Suicide Squad, taking on these cult heroes, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I'm on board. I'm not tied into her origin story. We do get Jason Momoa's coming back as Lobo, and whatever. Give me a good story. Give me a fun time. We're getting crypto.
Supergirl is what we're going to see. Yeah. Millie Alcock is the name of the actress.
Millie Alcock.
So she was in.
I'm not familiar with her, but I'm in. It's getting mixed reviews. And again, I think if you're a diehard DC fan, people are up in arms about. I don't know. It's not. We'll talk about it.
Ooh, but what we're pairing with Supergirl.
My wife is tickled pink that we're finally going to talk about this.
This is an adolescent benchmark for me.
Did you record it on VHS from HBO?
Oh, I did. I saw this in the theater.
Did you?
With my pal.
This 84?
84, yes.
84, okay.
I shudder to think at what was going on in his seat underneath the waist. Because I know what was going on in mine, but
boy.
Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
Is it Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, or just Sheena of the Jungle? Tanya Roberts.
Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
Okay,
yes, that is how it is named, and it is 1984.
Most notably known for the loincloth and the painted zebra.
The painted horse?
Yeah. That looked like a zebra.
That looked like a zebra, yes.
Apparently you can't train zebras. Or a zebra.
I don't think it was most known. I don't think it was most known for the loincloth. I think it was most known for the scenes without the loincloth.
Oh, see, I guess it's been way too long because I don't remember.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You don't know this? This is where Roger Ebert on Siskel and Ebert.
Okay.
Actually, and I remember this. When they were talking, of course, neither of them liked it. Okay. But when he was talking about it, he was like, and this movie has a really surprising amount of nudity for a PG film. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, when is this playing?
Dad, can you drop us off at the theater? Again?
And it does. It certainly does.
Makes me question my wife's choice of being thrilled to watch it.
I wonder if there's an R-rated cut out there somewhere.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to, as soon as we hang up, I'm going to have to go look on my library and see if they have it available. The uncut UK version.
So that's what we're covering next week. Supergirl
it's a
and
girl
Sheena.
Power episode.
Yeah.
Girl power.
Thanks for listening, as always.
Yes, thank you very much for listening. By all means, go hunt down Duel.
Yes, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, leave us a comment. Do a thumbs up.
Yeah, and subscribe. Even if you never listen again. We don't ask very often. We have a little tag at the back end, but I'm curious to know how many people actually listen through that. Yeah. All right, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand. I said no probing.